interrupt your evening to bring you The Ghost Among Us, Season 2, starring sisters Precious and Kaya. Bored during a pandemic, they decided to create a brand new podcast, and it's all about ghosts.
Oh, damn.
And spooky stories are always happening around them, and these two sisters are on the road to find them all.
Do you think this story is real?
It's probable. Oh, Precious and Kaya, will they make it to Season 3? You'll be the judge of that.
Hey guys, so welcome to the Ghost Among Us Encounter series. We are here, I'm Precious, I'm Kaya, and we are here to give a tour of Atlanta's Oakland Cemetery, which is the oldest cemetery in Atlanta, Georgia. We're super excited and we can't wait to get started, so let's go!
So I read this thing online that was pretty much saying that people pay like thousands and thousands of dollars to be buried thinking that they're going to be safe in their coffins, but 9 times out of 10 they ended up being submerged in water from the elements. So like when people like have to exhume graves, they're literally fishing them out.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty gnarly to think about. So don't pay a lot of money for a coffin, you're just gonna be swimming. Okay. Now she annoys the snot out of me, like truly, but she thought that her mom kidnapped her because her mom lied about where her dad was buried, and so we went to a cemetery to find her dad's grave because she didn't know if he was actually buried there. We ended up finding his grave. It was a weird experience, but all because she thought she was kidnapped by her mom, and she thought her mom was like Mother Gothel. She related way too much to Rapunzel. Hindsight, she was just being fucking crazy.
Golf legend Bobby Jones. Don't know who that is.
I know nothing about golf. Oh, there's a little placard.
Legacy Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones.
I don't know.
In memory of my loving husband.
Bobby?
John Cum.
John Cum? Oh, Cun.
Cum.
These are interesting.
How much do you think it costs to get buried here?
That's a good question. I mean, how much?
They even put a little bonsai tree in there?
That I like that a lot, actually.
Nice.
I want that.
This is just us showing pictures of whatever we want our graves.
It's like MTV Cribs, but for graves instead.
This confuses me because I don't know how they were laying. You know?
What do you mean?
There's not enough space for a person.
Yeah, there is.
6 feet under.
Yeah.
This?
Kaya, lay down right now and you'll see that you're long enough for that.
No, you're not.
Yes.
You know, this is your length. This is your height. That's not long enough.
Yeah, get in there then and do it. It literally is long enough. See?
That's long enough.
Barely.
Kaya, that's long enough.
Barely.
Okay.
There's a tree on top of those people.
I'd be cool with that, honestly.
Fertilizer. Okay, so now we're finally in Zone B, which is the African American burial ground. And the first question in Zone B is, find the geography of race sign and then head to the closest big tree. Who is Mary's husband buried beneath? His middle initial is the letter D. Who knows?
I just think it's
Oh,
cool.
I see some Gen Zers over there.
This says, in 1866, the city of Atlanta set aside 3.2 acre section of land for African Americans to buy burial plots. But I'm trying to figure out what African Americans actually had enough money in 1866 to buy a plot.
Few of them.
Which is probably why this is empty.
Probably wasn't
Disrespectful.
super expensive back then, I assume.
Before 1866, African Americans were buried in an area called the Slave Square in Oakland Cemetery, original 6 acres.
Slave Square.
The practice of separating burials by race reflected racial segregation in America, which continued for nearly a century after the end of slavery. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
That's
Not so
crazy.
very fun fact.
There's literally apples on people's graves. They eat the
someone just brought apples. And the squirrels, like, did something.
These do look like store-bought apples, too. So someone must have just brought a bunch.
I don't think those are tree apples. Tree apples usually have a little bit of edge. Does it say geography of race? I said this section's more haunted. Like there's more activity here. It just feels weird. Why?
You can feel that?
Yes. You can't?
No. Is it because you were over there?
I mean, I heard that moan, which was like, that's weird.
She claims she heard a moan in the African American burial section.
I did. I don't know what to tell you.
But I didn't hear no moan. Did you hear a moan, David?
I did not.
It was really loud. I don't know why you didn't hear it.
So can you sense paranormal activity?
I don't know, but like sometimes things are like heavy and I'm like, I should go.
All right, well, you've heard it here first, guys. Okay, so something that's just really weird is that there are apples all over this cemetery in the African American side.
And it's like on people's like actual gravestones, and some are scattered, which I assume like squirrels and stuff like that move.
I mean, there's a
apples
bird
around.
over here eating an apple.
Yeah.
But as we were walking over here, I was like, who the
Over
heck
here.
left all these apples
You can see the apples literally
on the
like,
graves?
On their graves. And so we were like, why are there apples here? And I just Googled real quick, so I don't actually know if this means anything. But the first thing that comes up, and I Googled, why are apples on gravestones? The first thing says, an apple is a symbol for sin because it refers to the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And then headstone symbolism with the plants, fruit, vegetables, blah, blah, blah. When visiting a cemetery, you will see the variety of gravestones of different styles and looks. Some emblems, apple, Eve, and sin.
So what white person decided to be racist and
I
put
mean, I don't
apples
actually
all over
know.
black people's stones? No, and I'm saying this because there's no apples on the white side,
There weren't.
only on the black side. So I hate to pull this race card, but this is weird because unless you literally looked up who Ruby M. Withers Reese was and found out maybe she like did adultery or something, how are you gonna know this person was sinful?
Like, I'm Googling more because, like, it's kind of really fucked up if that's true. But, like, we don't fucking know. We don't know why there's so many apples here. But, like, the first Google search says that it's for sin. And, yeah,
They're everywhere. It's so weird.
You know,
Like,
it could be nothing. It could be someone doing something positive. Like, I'm not gonna, like, automatically say that, like, there's some, like, racist person just putting apples on gravestones in, like, a black cemetery. Like, I don't want to assume that's true, so I'm not gonna say it.
I'm gonna say it. Come at me.
But, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. I'm just trying to, like, Google more.
This is fucked up.
But, like, every single time I see gravestones, apple, it's a sin.
Wow. Here you go. Oakland Cemetery, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yikes.
So here are my thoughts about being on the African American burial grounds. It's completely different from the other side, where all the white people and the Confederate soldiers were buried at. First of all, the grounds are completely not even upkept at all.
At least not as well.
Like,
And, like,
look at this. I know it's winter, but still.
understandably, like, there are dead trees on the other side too, but I feel like there is a lot more debris. Like, there's a lot more just, like, fallen leaves, a lot more just everything. The path, you can't see the path anymore because of all of this, but you can see that there was a path that they just haven't cleared out. This headstone's buried.
Which means they're not even upkeeping, which I'm sure there's a logical explanation for that.
Like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of questions that arise when you come on this side because you see, like, the different conditions on this side. Literally a little bit further over, there's a headstone that's completely toppled over. Like, it's not in the ground at all. I could pick it up if I wanted to, which I won't. Don't worry.
And
but
it's not like that on the other side.
I don't see that on the other
Also,
side.
these apples are pissing me off.
There's apples everywhere, and like we said before, the symbolism might not be very good, so that's concerning. Another thing I did notice too is that there was more grounds work that was ongoing on the other side, and I don't see any ongoing grounds work on this side. Like, we didn't obviously document this because, like, we didn't think there was a need to, but when the people who work in the cemetery, like, start to work on the gravestones, they'll, like, block off areas. There'll be, like, a sign that says, like, progress, whatever the fuck, and, like, you can see, like, blue tarps where they're, like, covering the area so that they can make it, like, better looking, beautify it. I don't know the word, but, like, there's nothing like that on this side, which maybe it's because, and I'm trying to think positively, because, like, obviously you don't want to think that, like, this is some weird conspiracy theory, but, like, realistically, it's more likely that there's family members on the white side who are actually paying to make sure that the grounds are kept. Like, realistically, that's probably a big factor, because you can see a few newer gravestones on that side from, like, 2019 and shit like that. If anything, there might not be any other people who have family members on this side who would pay for upkeep. And unfortunately, as fucked up as it is, they're not going to do shit if they're not paid for it. So that's another interesting factor. Donate. I don't know. Make sure that the grounds get worked on over here, because it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Hello? Oh no, don't go.
The fuck is that?
It's like, oh, where they fix gravestones. They have a bunch of gravestones on the table.
What's your name? Can't read it. What's your name?
I don't know. But she died January 8th, 1892.
32?
1832.
What's your name?
Do you want me to get closer to read it? Because I read.
No, I want her to tell me.
Okay.
Oh. She's so dramatic.
Did you see the head twitch?
You're dramatic.
Are you feeling something, Kaya, though? Honestly.
No.
Yeah.
This is so
It's just really nice. The people who are buried here have money.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we in that cemetery?
I believe we're at Bell Tower Ridge.
And like, this is super fancy. Like,
Mausoleums on mausoleums. Mausoleums with stained glass windows. Copper statues. Like,
this person was given a big flower pot for her 23rd birthday.
it was a gift.
It was a gift. They even have a little porch in the back.
Ooh, a palm tree in Georgia?
This is the marsh.
Ooh, I want to sit there so bad.
Crazy.
What, are those hydrangeas? They're dead now.
Oh,
I bet they were super pretty. But that's a lot of money for all those hydrangeas. That's a lot of hydrangeas. Those are huge.
you want to go sit in there?
No. No.
So I don't know if you guys can see this, but here
Little orange
are little
slices.
orange slices that are hung.
Some of them have like fallen and are on the graves, which are completely different and a completely different vibe from the apples. This seems cute and like festive,
Respectful.
you know? The apples seem very evil.
Hey guys, so thanks so much for joining us throughout our encounter series. We are coming to the end of this tour, and we just kind of want to debrief with you guys about everything we learned and saw and all the creepy crap that happened.
So, I mean,
It's a cemetery. You always expect that there's gonna be some element of just like ooky spooky. I will say it wasn't really that creepy. The only thing that like got kind of like heavy, like atmospheric wise, was when we were in the African American section of the cemetery. And I think a lot of it had to do with like all the like weird omens that we were seeing with like the apples and like the graves that were like not properly taken care of, and just the atmosphere in that area was definitely
And like, I mean, you guys can look around where we are now. This is completely different.
There are palm trees behind us. This is Georgia.
This section is completely different than the African American burial area, and I just honestly think it's just really sad because this is a very big, beautiful cemetery in Atlanta Park.
It's almost like it's sectioned off on like what is it, demographics of people, like wealth and race. Like you got like your spot when we first started off that was just your average like Joe Schmo like burials, where like you obviously saw like family plots and things like that, but nothing spectacular. Now we're in fucking
the richer side,
the
I guess, of Atlanta, the wealth of Atlanta. And so yeah, definitely interesting. I suggest if you guys are ever in Atlanta to definitely come down to the Oakland Cemetery. They have lots of different cool activities that you can do. They have different types of group tours, private tours. They also have scavenger hunts of different ease levels. We did the easy version throughout this tour. We didn't film it all because it was a lot to do, but definitely come out here and check it out if you can.
It's a nice walk, if anything. So yeah.
So we will see you guys soon. Bye.